This is Master X, the GMAT guru, presenting lesson number 1. Lesson 1, Basic GMAT Strategies by Master X, the GMAT guru. Overview. Learn the 10 basic GMAT strategies. 1 strategy for all GMAT questions. 6 strategies for quantitative. 3 strategies for verbal. Format and time frame. 2 examples will follow each strategy. This lesson should take about 2 hours. Well, not. In fact, the video presentation you're watching right now is going to take far less because I'm going to only show you strategy number 1. For the rest, you should call me in Skype by finding me with the handle ZARKX to make an appointment for a free consultation, and then we can see how I can prepare you for the actual GMAT examination. Now, new terms used in this lesson. Process of elimination means either one of 2 things. A, eliminate all 4 wrong answers that you're 100% sure of that they're wrong actually, and then the remaining one must be the correct one, even if you do not recognize it at first. Or B, eliminate the 3 wrong answers that you're 100% sure of, that they're incorrect, of course, and then choose between the remaining 2 by using strategy number 1. LCM, wherever you see that, means least common multiple. PS stands for problem solving. CR stands for critical reasoning. SC stands for sentence correction. And RC stands for reading comprehension. Now, let's go to strategy number 1, which you can use for all GMAT questions, right? For all GMAT questions, either in the quantitative section or in the verbal section. Step 1 of this strategy, use the process of elimination, either A or B. That is, either eliminate 4 out of the 5 possible answers as definitely wrong, and then the remaining one is the correct one, or if you can't do that, at least eliminate 3 out of the 5 possible answers as definitely wrong. And then from the remaining 2, how are you going to choose? By following step 2. Choose between the 2 remaining answers in the following order. C, D, D, A, E. Why? Well, take my actual GMAT course to find out why. How? Call me in Skype by finding me with my handle ZARKX and call me and make an appointment for a free consultation call. Now, if you follow this strategy, you're increasing your success rate from 50% to 75% if you actually choose by following this order C, D, B, A, E when you have to choose between 2 answers as in order to find the correct one, and you're not sure of which one is the correct one yourself, of course. Now, let's see the example from the quantitative section. Example number 1. If x and y are distinct negative integers greater than -10, what is the greatest possible product of x and y? A2, B4, C72, D81, or E90? All right, now this is an easy question, obviously, and you can actually find out the answer immediately, straightforward. Why? Because it says if x and y are distinct negative integers, meaning different, not the same number for x and y, and both negative integers, greater than -10, which means from -9 until -1. So since we want 2 negative integers greater than -10, it has to be -9 and above -9, -8, up to -1, and we want the greatest possible product of x and y, which means we need the 2 greater integers in magnitude, which obviously are 9 and 8, right? So 9 times 8, 72, or -9 times -8, 72, so the answer is obviously 72. So that's solving it straightforwardly. Now, however, I told you that we're going to use strategy number 1 to solve this problem. Imagine that you had a more difficult problem, of course, that you couldn't solve, and then you had to use this strategy, right? I'm using this easy one, this easy problem, so I can demonstrate the strategy. Okay, all right, so what do? You use the process of elimination to either eliminate 4 out of the 5 possible answers, and then the one that you're left must be the correct one, or you eliminate 3 out of the 4 out of the 5 possible answers, and then you choose between the two by following the order C, D, B, A, E. All right, now let's do both. Okay, first of all, it says that x and y are distinct negative integers, so they cannot be the same number, and greater than negative 10. All right, so we have to remember that. So that means from negative 9 and above that until negative 1. All right, and we need to find out the greatest possible product of x and y. The greatest possible product of x and y, right? So immediately we see A and B must be incorrect. Why? Because 2 and 4 obviously cannot be the greatest possible product of x and y. In fact, it's probably the smallest possible product of x and y. So we immediately eliminate A and B as possible correct answers. 2 and 4, they're gone. So the correct answer is either going to be C, D, or E. Now let's check these out quickly. Now these 81, well, the only product that gives you 81 is 9 times 9, or negative 9 times negative 9. But the problem states x and y are distinct negative integers, meaning different. So they can't be the same number, they can both be negative 9. Therefore, D must be definitely incorrect, so we immediately eliminate that as a possibility also. What about E, 90? Well, the only way you can get a 90 is like having 9 times 10, or negative 9 times negative 10, right? Well, what about 2 times 45? That's 90 also, right? Or negative 2 times negative 45, that's correct, but what does the problem state up here? That x and y should be distinct negative integers greater than negative 10. So the smallest product that you can have that will give you 90, right? The smallest combination of two distinct negative integers is negative 9 times negative 10. But negative 10 is not greater than negative 10. It's equal. So you can't have that either. So E is obviously wrong. So then, by the process of elimination, you're left with C, which is the correct one, 72, right? Now, let's say you didn't have the time to do that and you had to go faster, or you couldn't figure out what E, how we could find the product for E, then what you would do? Then you would use the process of elimination to eliminate 3 out of the 5 possible answers, stating that obviously A and B are definitely wrong because that's not the greatest possible product, but the smallest. Obviously D is wrong because 9 times 9 is 81, or negative 9 times negative 9 is 81. And x and y must be different, distinct negative integers are not the same. So you immediately eliminate D, and therefore the correct answer is either C or E. And according to our strategy number 1, what do we choose between those two in order to increase our possibility of getting the correct answer from a 50% to a 75% probability at least? We follow the order C, D, B, A, E, which means between C and E, we always choose C as the correct answer. And at least with a 75% probability, we're going to get it like here. Alrighty? Now that's the example from the quantitative section. Now let's see an example from the verbal section, the sentence correction part to be exact. This is the sentence given to you that you have to correct the underlined part. More common among friendly competitors than among bitter rivals, the undesirable consequences of tacit collusion often include oligopoly, which harms consumers by raising prices above efficient levels. All right, and we have 5 possible answers here too. The first one, A, is always the same as the one given, so that assumes that there is no mistake, that this is the correct version of the sentence, of course. All right, B states leading to undesirable consequences and more common among friendly rivals and bitter enemies. Tacit collusion often include, and then the rest of the sentence follows from above, right? Oligopoly, which harms consumers by raising prices above efficient levels. Or C, tacit collusion, which is more common among friendly competitors than among bitter rivals, leads to undesirable consequences, often including oligopoly, which harms consumers by raising prices above efficient levels. Or D, more common among friendly competitors than bitter rivals, tacit collusion leads to undesirable consequences such as oligopoly, which harms consumers by raising prices above efficient levels. Or E, more common among friendly competitors than bitter rivals, the undesirable consequences of tacit collusion are often including oligopoly, which harms consumers by raising prices above efficient levels. All right, now let's check this out here. Again, by using strategy number 1 and not actually going into the details of the grammar rules. All right? Okay. Now, as we can see from the answer choices, we have 3 answer choices that look very, very similar. A, D, and E. All right? They start with more common among friendly competitors. More common among friendly competitors and more common among friendly competitors. They all start the same. Okay, so one way to start using the process of elimination is to start seeing these answers that have common elements, like these 3. Okay, now the first one states more common among friendly competitors than among bitter rivals. So among friendly competitors than among bitter rivals, that's correct, comma. The undesirable consequences of tacit collusion often include oligopoly, blah, blah. Okay, first glance, that could be correct, could be incorrect, doesn't have something that immediately will show us that it is incorrect unless we actually are, experts, like I am. All right. So let's check the next one. D. More common among friendly competitors than bitter rivals. Oops. Now let's check this out here. A has among friendly competitors than among bitter rivals. Here we have among friendly competitors than bitter rivals. Now be careful. When you're comparing something, two parts of a sentence, A and B must be the same. So A than B. A must be exactly like B. In this case, among friendly competitors is not the same as bitter rivals. But here it is. Among friendly competitors is compared with among bitter rivals. So it is the same format exactly. Among friendly competitors, A than among bitter rivals, B. All right, so you are comparing similar parts of a sentence. Here you're not comparing similar parts of the sentence. Among friendly competitors, A, bitter rivals, leaves out among. So this is definitely wrong. So immediately you eliminate D as a possibility. All right, let's go to E. More common among friendly competitors than bitter rivals. Again, the same mistake. Among friendly competitors than bitter rivals, it should be than among bitter rivals, right? So immediately you eliminate E also. So D and E are eliminated. Okay. Now, when you do that, you're left with A, B, or C. So continuing with the process of elimination, one way to do it again, if you want to follow the first part of the process of elimination, eliminating 4 out of the 5 possible choices, and so being left with the one as the right one. Since you eliminated D and E, which starts with more common among friendly competitors with this type of phrase, you should eliminate A also. Why? Because chances are that all these 3 patterns are wrong. So go ahead and eliminate A also as a possible correct answer. So you're left between B and C. Now, let's check out B first. Why? Because C usually is the most common as a correct answer. Why? Again, we'll explain that when you actually take my GMAT course. All right? So B states the following. Leading to undesirable consequences, comma, and more common among friendly rivals and bitter enemies, tacit collusion often include oligopoly, blah, blah. Now, careful. Let's, for example, for instance, eliminate the part of the sentence between the commas, and let's focus on the main part of the sentence, right? Leading to undesirable consequences. Tacit collusion often include. Tacit collusion often include. That's wrong. It should be tacit collusion often includes. Why? Because the verb goes to tacit collusion. All right? Not to undesirable consequences. So that means that B is definitely wrong. So that's out of question. So you're left, since you have eliminated everything, with C. So C must be correct, and you don't have to go ahead and actually check it because you have eliminated all the wrong answers for sure. So you save time and you move on to your next question. All right? Now let's do the same process by eliminating only 3 out of the 5 possible answers, and then we're left with 2 that again we have to choose from following the order C, D, B, A, or E. Okay? So again, checking first the answers that start with a common phrase, more common among friendly competitors, for the same reason as before, I'm not going to repeat myself, we go ahead and eliminate D and E immediately. All right, so we're left with A, B, and C. Now, we don't eliminate A here because, okay, it starts with the same phrase, but that doesn't mean that necessarily it could be wrong, and it doesn't have something that immediately tells us that it is wrong, since this is the correct version among friendly competitors than among bitter rivals, so that's correct. So if there is anything wrong, it should be somewhere in here, but doesn't, raise a red flag immediately for us, right? Why? Because we're not experts in English grammar. Okay, so we don't eliminate that now. We eliminate only D and E. And we go ahead and check out B, but B we eliminate immediately because of the reason I explained before, right? We can have tacit collusion of an include. It should be tacit collusion of an includes. So then we're left to check C out, and we have A and C to choose from. Well, in fact, now since we're using the second version of this strategy, this methodology, we're not going to check C out at all. Why? Because we have eliminated D for sure as a possible correct answer, and E and B. So we definitely know that B, D, and E are wrong. So we eliminated them. And now we're left with A, which we're not sure of, and C, which we haven't even looked at, right? So what do? Between A and C, we always choose C. Why? Because you have to follow the order. Remember, C, D, B, A, E when you choose. Okay, so you choose C, and yes, it is the correct answer, and then you move to the next one. Once you learn how to do this, okay, of course, it's not going to take you 17 minutes like right now for this video, which I had to show you all this from scratch, but you're going to be able to do that in minutes, even in seconds. Okay, that's the idea after you practice. All right, now let's just check out C just out of curiosity to make sure that indeed it's correct one. If you're into grammar, tacit collusion, comma, which is more common among friendly competitors than among bitter rivals, obviously correct, right? Among friendly competitors than among bitter rivals, leads to undesirable consequences. So, which leads to undesirable consequences? If we look at the main sentence, tacit collusion, which is your subject here, leads to undesirable consequences, often including oligopoly, which harms consumers by raising prices above efficient levels. Alrighty? Okay, so there you go. This is strategy number 1. It's free. Since you're watching this video, you can use it. Go ahead and use it. Alright? Now, if you do want to see more strategies like this by Master X, the GMAT guru, then do not hesitate. Call me in Skype now and find me through my handle ZarKX and make an appointment for a free consultation call so we can see if I can help you through my GMAT course or my GMAT workshop. And after the free consultation, if we agree, and if I can really help you, then your first lesson is going to be free. And all the material that I'm going to provide for you are going to also be free. Alrighty? So my name is Kyriakos Xafis, and I'm the former Director of Studies of Axon Syntervaniou Kamaras in Thessaloniki, Greece, one of the biggest foreign language institutes in Greece, or Master X, the GMAT guru. And call me in Skype now to make an appointment for a free consultation call.